Hello, this is Alex from ONG Tax and Accounting Services. So in this video, we're going to continue our series on the most common tax compliance checklist for foreign-owned U.S. single-member LLCs. And in this case, we're going to look at single-member LLCs formed by foreign persons in the state of Alaska. Now, before we start up, let's throw a word of caution out there that this video is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to be a legal or tax advice. And if at any point in time you need a legal or tax advice, you should always consult with a competent CPA or tax attorney or an enrolled agent who can be able to listen to your situation and help you out. Now, one would ask, why is Alaska a big deal? Why are foreign persons going to Alaska to form LLCs? And the reason is very simple. When a foreign person makes a decision to form an LLC, they look for states that provide the most cost-effective means of maintaining the LLC. Foreign persons look for states that does not require complex and cumbersome filings in terms of paperwork, tax returns, and the flexibility of the corporate internal affairs. It is this and other reasons why Alaska continues to rub shoulders with some of these popular states like Delaware and Wyoming. This three checklist assumes all that you are doing is you formed an LLC and you don't have a U.S. trade or business, you don't have any physical presence, you don't have any agents here in the U.S., and all that you're doing is maybe selling stuff on providing services. And this advice is basically for federal level. So when you're dealing with the state, you need to look at each state one after the other, because what may not be taxable on the federal level may be taxable in the state level. So it's always important. We have 50 states in the union. So whenever we said you're not engaged in U.S. trade or business, we are actually referring to the federal level, but not the state. For the state, you need to review your factors, circumstances one after the other to see if you have a tax filing requirement in any state. Let's move on to the three checklists. Now, the first one is the Proforma 1120 and the 5472. You need to file it in on time to avoid a 25K penalty. So in the previous videos that I have done, I've done so many videos. I've done one for Delaware, Wyoming, New Mexico, and Florida. And I have explained, the reason why you need to file these forms and the specific due date. This Proforma 1120 5472 should be the number one on your checklist. Now, number two is make sure you're filing your annual or biannual report or franchise tax returns to keep your LLCs active in the state in which it was formed. Now, in the case of Alaska does not have annual returns. So we'll take a look at Alaska. Alaska requires you to file biannual report. Biannual report means that you file this report every 2 years. The last one on our list is you have to make sure that you are actually maintaining your registered agent services. Make sure you're paying them, because when a registered agent is not being paid, or you're not abiding by the contract and that registered agent resigned, they could cause your LLC to not be in good standing, or it could even cause other issues to the extent that the state may administratively dissolve or cancel your LLC. It's always important that you're keeping up with the registered agent services. In the previous videos, I have provided enough information about why registered agents are very important, so you should really go watch that. Now, finally, we're going to talk about something that is not on this list. And a lot of people ask questions like, well, I have an LLC. What other tax return do I have to file other than this checklist? Now, the answer is it depends. And in my previous videos, I have stated that a foreign person only gets to file tax return in the US, number one, when they have US source income or FDAP income. And then you also get to file tax return when you're considered to be engaged in US trade or business. Let's go ahead and look at the part that talks about the US source income. Now, a US source income can take many forms or shape. It could be income that you're receiving in terms of royalties, interest, dividends, capital gains, etc. Capital gains for non-resident aliens are generally not taxable unless they are in the US for 183 days at the time the gains were realized. Interest from certain bank accounts and savings accounts are also not taxable to most non-residents. And then we'll also take a look at dividend. Dividends is usually taxed at 30% if you're from a country that does not have a tax treaty with the US. When you get paid US source dividends, you're going to be taxed 30%. Unless you're from a treaty country where the withholding rate on the dividend could be reduced. So you have to take into consideration all of these factors, right? Figure out whether you have an FDAP income, and also figure out whether all the withholding that needs to be done on the FDAP income is already done to the extent that you don't have to even file any tax return. And then the next one is you have to figure out whether your activities in the US is creating what we call the effectively connected income. So if you're considered to be engaged in US trade or business, you would have an effectively connected income, and you may be required to pay taxes on that income, unless you're from a treaty country and the treaty can help you to avoid or escape that taxes if you can prove that you do not have permanent establishment in the US. So I've covered a whole bunch about effectively connected income in previous videos. Please take a look at it, watch it. But the scope of this video is to talk about a single member LLC formed by a foreign person with this simple structure, where the LLC is not considered to be engaged in US trade or business, and there's technically no US source income. Ready? So now let's look at Alaska specifically. Let's look at the filing requirement within the state of Alaska. If you have a single member LLC, what do you need to keep up with? Now, the first one on our list is going to be your initial biannual report. So you file this report within the first 6 months of creating your LLC, and there's no fee for the initial report. So it's pretty simple. When you first form the LLC, the state gives you 6 months grace period to file this initial report, and they don't charge any fees. So what I usually advise clients is that don't wait for the next 6 months to be able to do that after creating your LLC. Just file the initial report the same day your LLC became active, or even the following day your LLC became active. Just do it real quick so you don't forget. Now, after the initial report, number 2 on our list is the biannual report, the actual biannual report. After the initial report, these biannual reports are due every 2 years, and they are due before January 2 of the following year. And Alaska charges $100 fee for biannual report. And you can file this report online at the CBP website. So I'm going to go into the CBP website and show you what you need to do to file these forms and how this all looks like on the CBP website. All right, so all you have to do is to copy and paste this web address that I provided, the link I provided in the presentation, and it will take you to this page. So CBP is the Alaska Corporation Business and Professional License. So this is the Department of Commerce, Community and Economic Development. This is the state website. This is where you come to file your biannual report. So it's pretty simple. When you're on this page, what you can do is you can file this report by searching for your entity number. So when you form your LLC, the documents that they give you would have your entity number on it. So if you have that document in front of you, you can just type in this number and then you click on File Online. However, if you do not know the number, you just type in the name of your company here and then you search it, and then you follow the next step of the process. All right, so we know you have to file the initial biannual report. We also know that there is a biannual report that's due every 2 years, and the fee for filing that actual biannual report is $100, and you file it on the CPB website, which I have shared. Let's use some real-world examples here. Let's say you registered your LLC on April 15, 2022. If you form your LLC on April 15, 2022, first you need to think about the initial biannual report After you file the initial biannual report, then you think about the biannual report itself. So the initial biannual report, if you form this company on April 15, 2022, and you may be watching me in the future, which is April 15, maybe it is April 15, 2023, or any date you can think of. But in this example where you formed the company on April 15, 2022. So the question is, when is your initial biannual report due? The state gives you 6 months to file this initial biannual report. My advice is that don't wait till the 6 months is up. If you form it April 15, just file the biannual report on April 15, or you can even do it on April 16 or a week after. It's fine. But do not procrastinate. Do not waste too much time on this filing. It's pretty easy to file. After you file the initial biannual report, then you have the biannual report itself, which is due every 2 years. So again, we'll walk you through this example. Say you form your LLC on April 15, 2022. This means that your actual biannual report is going to be due on or before January 2, 2024, because you formed the LLC 2022. So 2 years after 2022 is going to be 2024. And then you follow the same sequence on or before January 2, 2026. The next time you file again is going to be on or before January 2, 2028. So it goes and so on and so forth. So these are your compliance requirements when you have a foreign-owned U.S. single-member LLC in Alaska. Now, I hope this video helps you out. If it does, please share, subscribe, like, and I'll talk to you on some other video. Bye.